CQ, 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 the old friend's net. This is N4LQ, November 4, Lima, Quebec, in Shelby, North Carolina, calling CQ. The old friend's net 160 is an AM only net. Anybody's welcome to check in using the AM mode of transmission. Name here is Steve in the QTH at Shelby, North Carolina. We will take check-ins now and start the roundtable. Go ahead. Wait a minute. I think I hear Brandon. CQ, the old friend's net. This is N4LQ calling CQ. CQ, the old friend's net. Anybody wishing to check in, call now.
It's bad when you key up and you hear a sizzle. Realize you're not you don't have the coax plugged in. W4G it.
Well, yeah. I hope nothing burnt up. I'm on the Viking with the crashing cabinet. Bam! Every time I close the PT switch, so it's a strong magnetic field. Anybody else want to check in? Got W4GUZ here for your entertainment tonight. Go ahead. Well, I guess just you and me for the time being. So, what you've been up to today? I just got started working on the Night Kit T150 again, putting all new capacitors in him, and got a hole drill, got the terminal strip mounted for him, and so hopefully there'll be less clutter in it when I get done. Go ahead, Brent.
Okay, Steve. It's been several days since I've operated a tube type radio, and I've almost forgotten how to operate it. I'm joking. On the Globe King tonight, and I think I bumped the audio gain. They put it so far away from the mic cord when you use the same D104 on 5 different radios. You plug the mic in, you hit the mic gain. It was turned all the way down, but I did not have the coax hooked up. But I'm pretty sure that the arc was between the center conductor that wasn't making physical contact. So everything's good. For a manual that says that the stock Globe King will not load up properly, well, I won't say this is proper, but load up properly with anything, if it's looking at anything under 300 ohms on 160, it works. I wasn't brave enough to try it until Cliff said he did it. About 210 watts modulating. Yeah, well, every bit of 100%. So anyway, from a cold start, that's one good thing about a DDS. I think I'm going to see if W9BHI has another board. He's got a really slick DDS. setup. It's really no, and the way it functions no different than the others, but it's a nice little board that he had a friend cut or etch, and he assembled this one. It still comes as a kit. I had to put it in the box. But really tickled with it. It's the same DDS that I've got in the homebrew 41000 rig. But anyway, enough nonsense. I listened to you guys today for a little bit, but you would have thought it was full moon today, but far from it. Let's see, the dark side of the moon is the 9th, so we're almost down to nothing, but it's been a crazy world in the public safety realm anyway. It's so interesting to me. We listen to the neighboring 3 counties, and we could have our butts handed to us, and one of the 3 counties could be in the same boat we are, and not a peep out of the radio out of the other 2, and then the next day we sit there and twiddle our thumbs, and everybody else is wide open. It's amazing how those political boundaries between counties apparently have an effect on something. I'm sure the moon's got something to do with it. N4LQ, W4Gs, that sounds good. Brutally honest, not as good as the LMAC. That's from this morning, just listening on the SDR in a set of headphones. So, but it sounds very good. But the LMAC still takes the cake. N4LQ, here, I'll take a sentence out of your mouth. Anybody else lurking out there? If not, Steve, take it. W4GZ.
Bang! Anybody else want to check in? Like somebody from Liberty, maybe?
In Florida.
I don't know. My synchronous AM was trying to lock in on something, kind of a chirpy thing. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, I know. I've been sitting here all day off and on playing between the LMAC and the Valiant, and there's no way to get the Valiant to sound like an LMAC, and it's all in the modulator. Of course, actually the final of the modulator, the 6146s, just aren't going to sound as good as the 6L6s, and of course the transformers. That really, there's not much else there. The preamp part is LMAC all the way in the Valiant, and it's same circuit, and you can look at it on the scope and it's perfect. But once it gets to that plate transformer for the final, it just does something that just isn't right, and I don't know, there's books and books of mods. WA1HLR has got a ton of them, and I tried a few of them, and it made it worse, so I don't want to mess with that. But it's usable, and anyway, I guess I'll be a full-time LMACer. Once you get hooked on the things, it's hard to get away from them, I believe. You lost me on that. Was it DDS? I don't know what you're referring to unless it's the VFO, and you said W9VHI. And I'm not sure who he is, but I guess he's got something to do with the VFO. Now, I've got one by N3ZI, and it's a pretty nice unit. I got a couple of those. That's the one I put in my DX60. So you'll have to straighten me out on that. Let's check one more time, see if anybody else wants to check in. N4LQ, go ahead. Yeah, somebody will come dragging along later on. Mirror's usually here. Go ahead, Brand.
Okay, Steve, good deal on the Night King T150. I haven't held one of those in my hand yet. I was going to ask if you looked at it on the scope after the mod transformer. I just wonder if the mods you done had enough drive for what, two 6146s versus the 6V6. Yeah, I've been looking through Tim Tron's articles here the last couple of days, off and on. I haven't really focused on it, but it's been some read material in the downtime at work. I'll have to get the Valiant down from upstairs and just pull the cabinet off and on of it too many times, because it is perfect. There's not a scratch on it. Matter of fact, I've got a little custom cover to go over it, but I never use it. So I've been 6 months since I'd had it on last week. Got to make it sound a little bit better anyway. Probably lower. I'll do it lightly. I'll start at the mic input and lower a couple of the values of the caps, and then maybe change the interstage transformer. I've actually got an extra from Hammond sitting here. Apparently, when I ordered 3 of them, because I know I used one. I put one in that Viking 1 that I sold at Shelby last year, which I kind of regret. I like knobs. The more the better. I guess that comes from tagging along with Dad from, Lord, probably at least a teenager, probably 11 or 12, up until I was old enough to join the fire department. I learned on a 1967 France engine. That's why I took my emergency vehicle driving test in and learned how to pump with. And there were definitely no digital gauges on it. Everything made sense. So I guess that's why I like knobs. And to this day, if the wife wants to, or if we get bored with whatever's on television, which we very seldom ever turn it on anymore, but I think I'd mention this, but the father-in-law got us a GOAT subscription for a year, which is actually neat. We get ABC, NBC, local. If we want Seattle, NBC, we've got, half a dozen channels to pick from out there, or New York, whatever. It's neat. I'm not a sports fan, never have been, but we watched the AFC and whatever the other one is last weekend on the GOAT, but it works out pretty good. But every time it's time to change the channel, I just pick up the remote and throw it at her and let her work it. I don't want to know. But no, the DDS, the VFO, I'm sure it's the same chip from China, but W9BHI, I've known him for several years, and actually I've been to his house. It's about an hour west of Chicago. I've seen that territory and never really cared to go back. Where Don lives is nice, but anywhere around Chicago area is, well, I dipped my finger in 32-degree water with the wind blowing 100 miles an hour about 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning after we'd picked up this Johnson desk. And I said enough's enough, and we left. This was Sunday morning, and it was scary. It was scary driving a minivan through downtown Chicago. So hope I never go back. But yeah, this well, it come as a kit, but TR relay and everything built in. And I've been very pleased with it. Of course, I can't say anything bad about I can about a Johnson a 122 VFO. They drift like crazy, but the old Heath kit over here on Globe King #1, it's pretty stable. And well, what can I say? I like a DDS. You don't have to fool with it. But good deal on the Night King. And can't recall who. You're working on that for somebody. So hopefully you get that project finished. I was watching on eBay, you've probably seen it, the AF67 that went with the PMR7 and the I guess PS2 power supply. I watched it and then fell asleep. I was actually going to bid on it, but it went for what I thought was a reasonable price. Some folks won't. For a complete set, as mint as it was, I kind of hate that one slip through me. N4LQ W4GZ.
That's the N4LQ. Anybody else want to check in? Give me a call.
N4WD.
N4WD. Just in time to give us something to complain about. Oh my goodness. Anybody else? Well, I guess not. I'm glad you're here, Bruce. I will comment on a couple of things. AFC, yeah, I saw that set, and it was very tempting. It looked like it was brand new out of the factory. All three pieces did, and there was some other accessory in the cable. Everything was there, ready to go. What'd that go for? Three something? I mean, that's cheap. You look at the price of a good one like that. That's good, and you just don't see them like that very often. And that's your go-to rig for all bands. You know, nothing else has 160 anyway. And that this is a Night kit, not a Night King. It's a Night kit T150. Amir gave it to me because it's he had it sitting around for I guess he bought it for he had two of them, I think, so I don't know, he had an extra one, so he just gave it to me, and of course it needs all kinds of stuff done to it, and I'm having fun with it. KZ4B John has got one on the air, and it sounds really good. And I had one back in 1964 that somebody loaned me, and I got a pink ticket for a harmonic, and I gave it back to him. It's a pretty thing, though. I probably had it dipped on the wrong place. And yeah, I don't know, W9VHI. I looked him up, but I don't see anything about a VFO on his QRZ page. All kinds of cool stuff on there, though, so I'll look him over. Let's see here. Where was I? Oh, there he is. Up in Illinois somewhere. Is that where you said you went? You went up to his house or something? Anyway, Bruce, go ahead and make a transmission and tell us what's going on down there. N4WD, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ, N4WD. Yeah, I tell you, I been getting in here, and I figured y'all wasn't going to hear me because I could just barely hear y'all the last few nights. So I went out there while it was 62 degrees, and I listened around with my little portable radio, and all the noise was coming from the antenna. So I looked at it real close, and the ground had broke loose from the bottom of the inverted L. So it wasn't getting none of the radios or nothing, and it was picking up line noise like crazy. Now I got a little bit of ocean wash, where, you know, goes up and down, everybody's signal goes up and down. At least I can copy tonight. So, got that going, and a plug. It's a male 8-pin, not an optical. Has two large pins on opposite ends of each other. It's 8-pinned for Gonzit 66A. My vibrator is about to give out on the one I got, and so I figure I'll just power it off of one of my other power supplies and build one for it. And but I need a plug, so I want to keep the plug that's on it. So if somebody wants to tinkle with the mobile power supply, they can. So other than that, it's 44 right now. Got up to about 65 today with sunny with a light breeze. Out of the north, made it a little chilly if you were out in the wind. But other than that, it was pretty nice. So let's see. I don't know who it goes to. I heard. Last time I checked in, and that fades away. I'll get it back to you. Hopefully everybody's doing good up here in neck of the woods and everybody else. N4LQ, N4WD.
All right. And I have changed from Valiant to AF67. Let me dip this thing. Yeah, it's already dipped. Okay. I guess that's pretty well loaded up. And a little bit more power. I'm up to about 300 and some watts. It's a little heavy. Anyway, yeah, I got a Gonzit G66 here too. It's got that weird plug on the back. I don't think you can find them. That thing must have been proprietary or something like that. You know, it was made for that power supply, and that's it. I looked and looked. I don't know what you call it. So I guess all you can do is hardwire it. Go ahead, Brandon. W4GUZ, N4LQ.
N4LQ, W4GUZ. Hello, Bruce. Sounding good up here tonight. A little bit of fade, but the days are getting longer. Thank the good Lord above. I walked out outside of work today about 15 after 6. A co-worker was walking out, and I said, "Hey." She said, "What?" I said, "Look." She said, "What?" I said, "You can see." I don't think she thought as much about it as I did. I'm afraid we've got some winter yet to come. But it's sure been a beautiful day today. And, well, I ain't looked today, but I think tomorrow's supposed to be good. And then, of course, weekend I'm off. supposed to rain every day. Not Kit, yes, that's what I meant to say. Not King just kind of rolled off the tongue. I can't wait to hear it. And that, I just looked, that AF-67 combo went for $307. And I'm pretty certain the reason that I didn't jump on it, which is today's time a very reasonable shipping price for what it is, if it's packed correctly, but it was $126. So he was looking at what, $430 plus. Yeah, one day. And then I seen a meter on there, a NOS meter for a AF-67. It went for $15. Kind of wish I'd bought that just for future projects. I didn't. Don, N4YN, he's going to come over and visit Friday. I think we're going to do a little horse trading. Looking forward to that visit. We decided we're not going to communicate over cellular devices. We're going to use my amateur radio 2-meter repeater. And about the last 6 months, all it's been good for is reminding me what time it is and what day it is. But he's going to come over Friday and we're going to swap-a-roo. Yeah, W9BHI, his name's Don, and he's a smart guy. Real nice guy. We spent, well, according to the wife, we spent way too much time at his house, but super nice guy and intelligent. We had a good time. He's far enough away from Chicago where it didn't feel like that. But he's got a 43-foot vertical on the ground. And he doesn't get on that often anymore, but if you hear him, you'll definitely, or if you're tuned in, you'll definitely hear him. He's got a good signal down this way. And last he called me up out of the blue. He's working on a amplifier for the Hermes 2 to get it up to, I don't know, 10 to 15 watts variable to drive an amplifier real good. So I think that's what he's working on in his spare time. He's fastened on surface mount components, so he's got all the fancy stuff up there. He's got some old iron. He's getting pretty deep into the digital world, but he's got a Gates BT, I don't know, 5T. 833s modulating the pair, but he converted it. It sounds, I can't tell, just like you, Steve. You change. Well, I could tell the difference that time, I think, if you really did make the change between transmitters. But he's one of those guys. He could be on anything and sound the same. Bruce, hope you find that connector. I know what you're talking about. I've seen one over cliffs. Never seen another one like it. So you're gonna have to come up and start hitting the ham fest. I'd love to meet you. We need to get together. Maybe you can come up to Shelby. It's not too far. It's it shouldn't be too far for you. I don't know. It's about right at, well, between breakfast breaks and all, 2 hours. I can make it down there easily, hour and a half if I pushed it. But you know, that's right around the corner, and kind of envious of the guys that's down, or at least traveling down toward Orlando. It's on my bucket list. And Chuck, N4YQ, gave me a open invitation to be his co-pilot. Just couldn't do it. I don't need to spend any more money on radios. You know, it's very tempting. What is it about Hamfest? I don't get it. And it's I don't think it's the same for this newer generation of hams. It could be. It could be more exciting. I don't know. But, from day one, I've always been attracted to the old stuff. N4WD, W4GZ.
It's going up and down. I'm going to pick up another receiver here and see if it's doing it on it. Thinking the 7300, the 811 flashed on, but I wouldn't think it would have. Yeah, it might have got into the front end, but 160 is the only place I've noticed any of this, so I don't know. But yeah, I got some stuff out. I saw one. I got a manual and it don't show that plug on it. It has a regular 8-pin optical key on it. And I may just change both of them out. The one in the mobile power supply with a vibrator and the one in the receiver. You know how much trouble it looks like. Just swap them out and put a regular oct in it. See that I'll have to make a plug like I did for the Q multiplier for the B2. So 2Bs, straight 2Bs. I made that Q multiplier and made a plug for it. But I don't want to go through all that again. It might be easier to just put a regular optical plug on it and then we can plug up together. I want to go mobile and have that plug on it. So we're going to look into that Thursday. Go help my brother with his work on his porch tomorrow, I believe, if he's not running the kin folks around to the hospital. But yeah. So if it wasn't supposed to come to me, somebody say something. I'm gonna give it back to you.
Did you turn it over to me?
Yes, sir. Did I disappear?
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought you just disappeared there for a minute. When you first came on, you were kind of all over the place. What was that? You turned the VFO knob or what?
I'm still on 864. I guess it's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, that was going woo, all up and down the band and back and forth, sound like an old dirty potentiometer or something. Oh well, N4WD, N4LQ. Well, if you can't tell that I changed rig, hey Bruce, could you tell that I changed rigs?
You on the 67 right now?
I am, yes.
The audio is like 100 times better than on the other one.
Well, the thing here is you're always 20 over 9, Steve, so it's hard to tell. You'd think that'd make it easier to tell. But I believe you. I mean, I think it sounds better just listening here in the shack. Let me turn the fan on here. I want to keep this amplifier cooled down. Give us some fresh air. I blow fresh air in the side of it to give it something to work on. Yeah, well, let's see here. You said something, Bruce, about an 811 Spartan or something like that, but I don't know. N4IYQ Chuck. Yeah, he called me the other day, said he was going down there and looking for somebody to go with him. And he thought I'd go, and I said, no,
I'm going to stay here with the wife. You know, she's not all that great shape. I wouldn't want to leave and have something happen, so I'll stay here. I don't want to get any more than an hour away or something, 2 hours maybe, something like that. So anyway, yeah, fine on the W9. Well, I still don't understand what you were talking about, the DDS VFO, and I equated it to his call sign. I mean, does he sell them or something, or what was that about? He kind of ran those things together, and I was trying to figure out what you were up to. But yeah, I like a DDS also. But you know, these things are pretty stable once you get on AM. It doesn't matter that much. It's just easier to set them up. You don't. I keep the SDR on so I can see where I am anyway. It's funny because I've got the Hermes 2 website open right now, trying to figure it out. It's a little confusing what you need and what you do with it when you get it, and you know, they don't make it easy. They just show you this thing. It's well, if you want to buy it, you go to this marker fabs, and you buy it from them, and then you may need the Hermes Lite 2 I/O board, which gives you some jacks. I don't know if the other one that doesn't have any jacks, or you know, you got to figure all that out, and then you have to track down the software, and that's in all this GitHub business. That reminds me too much of the Anon I had. Boy, you talk about a pain in the neck. I finally got it running, but I couldn't keep it running long enough to enjoy it. I got to where I had to leave the computer on all night. If I tried to shut it down, it wouldn't start up the next day. That contrary thing. So, and okay, on Don, and you're going to start using a repeater, huh? Yeah, I can't stand to listen to those things. If they just sat there all day and didn't make any noise, it'd be okay. But this one here, I think they shut down some of that IV business, but it would come on every 2 minutes or something and talk about how it's located here and there, and the time is this, and check into the net, and welcome to the repeater, and all this, and it goes on and on. I'm like, I can't do anything else with that going. So I just don't fool with it. Anyway, let's see. I guess yeah. So I guess that's the story here. Go ahead, Brandon. W4GUZ N4LQ.
N4LQ W4GUZ. Oh no, Don. He's just I guess he's an entrepreneur in the ham community. He just likes coming up with new things, new ideas. He doesn't really promote it. I'm not sure what or how many boards with each given project he has etched, but he's a good guy. He doesn't advertise, but if you're looking for one, or I'll keep you. Let's see. I just heard you say this, but I think you had a Hermes and got rid of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but if his project progresses, I'll keep you in the loop. He doesn't care to share the schematics with you either. Super guy. I sent you a little video, and I honestly would not have noticed. That's not in a bad way, but I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't have told me. Or you could have told me you'd changed and not have changed, and maybe it would have registered. Anyway, yeah, I've got, looking at my scratch here, I I thought it was written on my hand because I couldn't find a piece of paper. The Globe King, or the AT5K doesn't mind the Globe King at all. The other couple of rigs do, but I think I've got the solution to that. I've got some Teflon RG400 and a couple other toroids over here for folks that's been through the same thing I'm going through. I'll fix the overheating problem. I tell you though, once those cores get saturated and get warm, they don't recover quickly. They've got to cool way down. You can watch them go up. Of course, I know it's radiant heat or convection or whatever, but you can watch I can watch the standing wave go up on this LP100. Once it gets up with a little higher power, it takes a while for it to cool off and come back down. I need to do that as a test. I've got one of the little cheap Harbor Freight laser thermometers, but I need to do that with the cover off and check the temperature after a given transmission, and after I make the mod to it, check it. But I've thought about getting rid of this. I've got a link couple tuner over here that handle anything I can throw at vacuum variables. It's a pain in the butt to change from one band to the other. Plus the Pal-Star's got the coax switch in it, and I can go from the dummy load to any given antenna, so it's more convenient. I'm certain the other's more efficient. I know it is in the given state, and plus this thing doesn't like the AM portion of 10 meters. It has a hard time tuning this loop, whereas the link couple does a fine job. It just takes a while to get there and a while to get back. Yeah, Bruce, I'd say your best bet just probably change that out to optical plug, something a little more common. Mentioned the vibrator and the power supply. Probably heard me. My plan is to put either the AF68 that I own now, or if I find a AF67, put that in this 67 Westphalia Volkswagen bus that I've got, which I hope to have at least in final primer by the end of the summer. If I'm lucky and put my time toward it, I can have it painted, and I can spend the winter assembling it. I've got everything else done. Interior's done. It's all plywood. Laminate, whatever, but got the birch plywood, had enough left of the patterns to have everything cut. Trial fitted most of the pieces and got those stashed away. Motors rebuilt, transmission, transaxles rebuilt. 95% of the body work's done, so hopefully I can get to that this summer. If my back holds out, knock on wood. I've been in good shape here for the last couple of months, so I'm sure both of you know. I think Steve, you and I have talked about it. I don't think there's anything worse than lower back pain. You can't do anything, and dread the thought of even considering a sneeze or a cough or anything that goes on down in that area. I'm sure that it'll be something that I'll have to deal with for the rest of my life, unfortunately, and I still consider myself fairly young. My last name's Young, so I guess that'll be on my death certificate. 45 and falling apart. I felt like I was 20 up until I turned 40, and then I'm not sure what happened. Feeling all right now. Last couple months have been, I've thanked the Lord many times for letting me do what I need to do, physically anyway. I guess that's it, Bruce. I'll hang in here for one more, and I'm going to go hit the leftovers from last night and then get ready for a new day tomorrow, which starts about 4 a.m. or if I hit the snooze button about 4:15. N4WD in the group W4Gs.
Okay, Brandon, N4WD. Yeah, I don't know. Hello. My meter says I'm FMing. You notice anything on it, Steve-O?
No, I didn't. I wasn't listening for that. To detect that, I would switch over to sideband and tune you off a 0 beat and let you talk, and I could hear you FM and then. Let me see here. Let me switch. All right, now I'm on lower sideband, and give me a little bit of talk, and I'll tune around.
Okay. Fire supply can still be used on an optical plug. So it's the same size as this maintenance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello, Steve. Are you back, boy?
No, your carrier is rock solid. There's no shifting, no FMing whatsoever. So go ahead.
Okay. I know I got some selective fading here that's like crazy, man. Y'all are 10 over, and the next thing you know, you're 8 dB, and just going up and down, up and down. So, gotta take care of that back, man, I tell you. I gotta get a new mattress for my bed. Mine starts to make mine hurt. So we'll say, we'll listen to if there's any other comments, and then we're going to turn that little switch to N4LQ and N4WD.
Well, okay. I'm copying most of it. There is a lot of galactic noise, as I call it. N4LQ. Let's see. Octal plug's a good idea. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. I might look into it. I got to change some capacitors in that little G66. Boy, it looks like a new one. It just, it's got some of those bumblebee looking capacitors in there, big black things with stripes. One of them is cracked wide open, just sitting around. Can you imagine that? So I need to change that out first. I don't know. Have you been using the Gonset? Does it work okay?
Oh yeah, the vibrator noise. Smelling the ozon's off the vibrator. I've clipped the shell off of it and then got it so I can put it back on it and clean the contacts and had to bend them a little bit, but I think it's vibrating a little too fast. But other than that, yeah, it works real good. And that's steady. I got it all lined up and got a power supply built for it, and it's doing good. Now I got to do something with the MR7.
Okay. Lost the last few seconds of you there, but getting a little bit rough. Okay, Brandon, I tried to take notes. You cover a lot of territory and a lot of different subjects, and it's hard to come up with comments because there's two. I guess I could just take better notes. Hot cores in the tuner. It sounds to me like somebody didn't use the right cores or the right kind of ballad design, or either that or you got too much common mode current or something. Yeah, when they get hot, they reach the Curie. They call it the Curie temperature. You know, Madame Curie, she's the one that invented that or discovered the Curie temperature, and that's when it gets to a certain temperature, the permeability or the AL factor, whatever you want to call it, goes down, and it'll go down to almost nothing. And that core might as well be a donut. So then once it cools off, it's okay. But they heat up from the inside out, sort of like a microwave does food, you know. And then they take a long time to cool down. But you can usually put a fan on them. I know the big Palstar, that big, 10,000 watt one or whatever, it's got a fan in it to keep the stuff in there cool. But once you get up to a certain power level, you're going to have some heat, no matter what you do. Okay, well, back pain is, yeah, I've had it off and on, comes and goes, but the last couple of years it's been a real problem. It's not really my back, it's my leg, and of course I'm sure it's probably originates up there in the back, and it's not sciatica, it's something else, close to it, I guess. And I've tried different things, exercising and stretching and physical therapy and surgery and all kinds of things. And today I took my 2-mile walk, so at least I can still walk. At 75 years old, I guess that's doing pretty good to be able to walk. So I shouldn't complain too much. Well, I'm tempted to get one of these Hermes. I'm just a little squeamish about getting started on it because, you know, it takes a lot of effort to find what you need to get it working, and that's the pain. You know, it's not just something you can buy and plug in, and you got to load all that stuff on your computer and figure out how to get it going. So I don't know. I know they're good. I mean, I've had the Anon 7000 a few years ago, and it was an excellent receiver, and transmitter was too. It wasn't all that great on CW because of latency. Kind of drove me nuts, but you can expect that on any computer. If there's a computer in the mix somewhere, there's usually some latency involved. Even the Flex, at least the side tone for CW, it didn't have any latency. You hit the key, you got the beep instantly, but that was being generated directly, and it wasn't coming from the computer. And but the audio coming out from another signal had a certain amount of latency, and if you tried to listen to it and a regular analog receiver at the same time, there was a sort of an echo, as it were. Alrighty, well, let me check and see if anybody else wants to check in, and if not, I think we're about ready to shut down for the night. It's N4LQ listening.
Final comment. I think my problem is ADHD. I've self-diagnosed myself. No, I'd love to dive into the Hermes. You know, the hunt's that's the fun part, and once you get it working, you kind of get bored with it, right? Again, ADHD maybe. I think the biggest house, well, no, maybe they make one bigger, but what I have is the AT5K, which I would assume would stand for 5 kilowatts, which is 3-something times over the legal limit. Well, it doesn't like AM. Luckily, I found an article out there, and several people had tried it. Anyway, I've got the right mix. I can't remember if it's 74, 36. I don't know. They're big suckers. And I've got a roll that expensive. The coax was more expensive than the toroids were. But anyway, that's a project I'll get to one day. And I'll keep you, definitely keep you posted if I hear anything from Don, if he makes progress on that intermediate amplifier, which I'm sure he will. He's probably working on it right now. Bruce, 73 to you. Good luck with the Gonzit, and I think to keep it period correct and all, I mean, there ain't won't be much difference. Nobody will notice. Change it over to octal. He'll be set. Everybody still remember Terry? He well, I don't have an update. The wife is, I guess, quit responding. I don't know. I guess she got well, not going to comment on that. She's the medical power of attorney, but when I started giving her updates, she quit responding to me. So, I just hope he's been taken care of. But anyway, he was in great spirits last week, again, when Amy was over there. Tickled to death with the seafood that Amy brought him. The fact that he was getting the heck out of Dodge. So hopefully we'll hear his arrogant voice back on the air. He's one of those guys you either love or hate, and at first I didn't know how to take him. I was ready to call him up and give him a piece of my mind, and then we actually had a conversation and connected. So there's a good guy. He doesn't have anybody left in his family. A few friends, close friends that live close by, and an ex-wife that's remarried that is apparently making the right calls. So, but I do miss him. And Steve, you and Terry, I don't know how much or how often, or if you even had a conversation together. But that's going to be one of those days, and Lord willing, it will happen. But even if it's 8 o'clock in the morning, when I hear you and I hear him on the air at the same time, I'm going to go upstairs and pop a bag of popcorn. I miss the old fart. Enjoyed it tonight, all three of us. Try to be back in here tomorrow. Tomorrow's my Friday, hopefully. So I'll be in here this weekend. Bruce, I'll hand it over to you. And if not, Steve, tie the ribbons on it. Thank you for what you do. Keeping this thing going. You know, it's a commitment, 7 days a week. So thank you for what you do. If you miss a day, somebody will pick it up. So just give us a day at least advance notice. N4WD with N4LQ73 from Staggerweed, W4G.
Okay, Brian, N4WD. Well, have a good one. Got, tomorrow's your Friday, so have a good weekend when it does get here. for you. I've been listening, trying to keep up with what's going on with Terry. He likes to irritate me, and well, he likes to irritate everybody. So anyway, have a good one. I'll catch you later on, and I think that's what I'll do is find me a couple of optical plugs. I think I got a couple here. If I don't, I'll find one. I'd rather get that done before dog comes, but I don't want to go down there looking for optical plugs. So, everybody take it easy. Have a good one. Catch you again. Quit having that space noise, you call it Thursday. That space noise is driving me crazy. 4LQ in the group, 73, have a good one. N4WD.
I didn't get much of that one. Anyway, we'll see you later, Bruce. Brandon, the one comment I had on the Hermes, I could use the Valiant for an amplifier. I did that years ago. I had a little Tentec 509 QRP transceiver. I just plugged it into the sideband input jack, switched it over to sideband, the Valiant that is, and it worked like a charm. And so I used that for the amplifier. Put out it doesn't take much drive. I think it put out over 100 watts with that little 5-watt QRP rig. So there you go. I just thought I'd throw that out. All right, guys. We'll see you later. 73, and if something does come up, I'll let you know, Brandon. I appreciate the offer to sit in, and if I don't show up, just go ahead and take over. It's the best policy. See you all later. This is N4LQ closing the net.
Steve, real quick, N4WD.
Yeah, go ahead.
I changed out a piece of coax here. Does that seem to make any difference?
Well, it did right now, but you're up and down like a yo-yo.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't the only one then. All right, have a good one. We'll catch you later. N4WD.
You were loud that time. Huh. Well, maybe that coax has got something wrong with it.
Well, it has.
How you doing, Steve?
Too, because it has when I on that piece, it has a slight popping noise. I'm on it. Take it out and redo it or get rid of it. That'll go in.
Okay, well, I thought you had accomplished something there for a minute, but I guess not. You faded back out. See you later, N4WD. And was that Stefan?
Yeah, Roger, Steve. You're booming in here. Good copy. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. You're late.
Yeah, I'm late. Yeah, I always do my work here, and I cannot get in the shack before you guys close up. So usually at 9 o'clock is when I can make it upstairs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm kind of wore out here. I was kind of working on this night kit transmitter that Mira gave me, changing capacitors in it. It's a pretty good sized job. I had to drill a hole, put a terminal strip in it to mount the capacitors on, because everything's different. But it'll be neater once I get done. And anyway, you sound good tonight. I guess you're on the Anon, right?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, and you are very strong. You're 40 over. I don't think I ever heard you so strong like tonight. But and I listened to this morning a little bit, and I copied you beautiful as well. And I was playing with this radio here, this FD757 GX2, and I was going to attend the net, but then I got a phone call and one thing came in after, and yeah, I just couldn't get on. So, but all right. Yeah, I worked the station from Australia earlier tonight on 20 meters with that radio, and I was just running maybe 70 watts. So and it was long pad, so he was booming in here, and Yeah, so I'm just going to try it, see if he can hear me. And sure enough, he came back right after my first call, so I was pretty happy with that. All right, I won't hold you, Steve, but you're sounding good. And this morning you were, I don't know on what radio, but you sounded really good too, Roger.
Well, I was switching around. I've got the Valiant, and then I've got this LMAC, and I was comparing them. Everybody says the LMAC sounds better, which is to be expected. It's hard to come up with anything that beats this. It's kind of strange, but anyway, yeah, well, fine on the DX. Last night I got on 80 CW and had a bunch of QSOs. I just called. I called somebody was calling CQ, and then after that guy, I had about 3 more come in, one after the other, and we ended up using bugs and switched over to cootie keys. And you probably never seen a cootie key, but that's a trick. I got one here made out of a hacksaw blade. So we used our homebrew cootie keys for a while.
Yeah, Roger, no, I don't know what a cootie key is. Is that something from the past?
Yeah, it was the first left to right key. It came before the bug, so it was between the straight key and the bug as far as time goes. Back around the turn of the century, 1905 or something like that, and well, all it is, it just looks like sort of like a paddle, but it's only one lever, single lever, and you move it left, then you move it right, and it's got a contact on each direction. So the lever, everybody makes them out of hacksaw blades, and you hook that to the ground of your key line, and then each of the contacts, one on each side. I made them out of brass screws and L brackets, and those go to the center pin of your key line. So it's just treated like a straight key, you know. So either way you slap it, it makes the same thing. Then you have to train yourself to go back and forth, and you never go the same direction twice. That's your goal. So every letter is like back and forth. Like for a C, you would go left, right, left, right. But you would make a dit dot or da dit that way. So you're making the characters manually, but you are saving yourself a lot of wrist movement. You know, it's easier on the arm. That's the idea. But it wasn't long after that came out that Vibraplex came out with the vibrating dit machine, you know, and that kind of took over.
Yeah, Roger, N4LQ and C4N, very interesting. All right, Steve, well, I'll let you go, but 10 meters was wide open this morning, and with that Yaesu radio that is 100 watts output, I had a lot of fun. It reminded me of my old days. That was the only radio that I brought from Belgium with me. And yeah, I never worked Australia with that radio, but now I can check that off. So that really put a smile on my face, and I was not even on full power. So, all right, well, you have a good night, Steve, and thanks for hanging in there. You have a good night, and see you for one. Take care.
All righty. We'll see you next time. Thursday morning or something, maybe. NC40N, N4LQ clear.
Yeah, Roger, you're booming in here. How much power are you running?
315 carrier.
Yeah, Roger. Well, that's excellent. He's doing a great job. You copy me okay as well?
Yeah, you're 50 over on the meter.
Okay. All right. You have a good night, Steve. Take care.
See you later, N4LQ.